Discouragement will rob you of hope, focus. Remember, we taught that, and pursuit. And you need every one of these things to walk out your destiny in God. You need hope, you need focus, and you need pursuit. But that's what I'm dealing with distance, though, because distance defined is the amount of space between two things or people. The amount of space between, okay, thank you, Holy Ghost. Can I, that's what Satan created between Adam and God. I'll prove it. You heard me teach this before. Satan comes and goes, hath God said? Right? He said, well, you can't eat from the tree. Well, we're not supposed to eat or touch it. Well, God just knows that if you eat, he says, we shall surely die. He says, you won't die. What was he doing? He was creating distance between the voice of God and man. Because if he can ever create distance between where you are and where his voice is, then he can create havoc in your life. And so even though when you're going through situations and the current reality is not good, what the enemy wants to do is create distance. Because the further away you get, the more susceptible you are to his lies. My God. Distance is the condition of being far off. It's an interval of time. How long? Distance. Distance is also, watch this though, I love this definition, and this is why I really wanted to talk about distance here, is because distance is also the more remote part of what is visible. Distance doesn't mean that it's not visible. Are you hearing me? Come on. Distance is the remote part of what is visible or discernible. What's perceived or recognized, to be able to perceive or to recognize something, which means, watch this, it's there, it's just far more remote. It's off at a distance. It doesn't mean that it's not there, it just means that it hasn't arrived. Somebody say yet. But your ability, this is why faith is important, your ability to discern or recognize it and remain laser focused in prayer and your pursuit can be distorted by the voices of discouragement. So in other words, you go into prayer, here's the situation. Now it's far off, or there's some distance in time between when God actually does it or when the fulfillment actually happens from when you started praying. Right. But it doesn't mean that it's not there. It just means that it may be a little off. It might be, and watch this. So if you're going to walk in faith, you have to be able to remain focused in prayer so that you can continue to discern what's at a distance. The best example I can give you is God had shut up the heavens and it was not raining anymore. Remember that? Ahab, and here comes Elijah, and Elijah comes is right after Mount Carmel, and he displays the power of God and deals with the prophets of Baal, and then he turns around and says, okay, look, it's going to rain. Right? And watch what he does. He says this, and I think it was actually it's in 1 Kings 18. He says, hey, he goes into prayer. Y'all remember that? He puts his head in between his knees, scripture said, and begins to pray. And then he asks his servant, hey, go tell me what you see. No, y'all ain't hearing me. Prayer, watch this. He went into prayer and instantly said, tell me what you see. Watch his expectation. He goes into prayer. Now the heavens were shut up. There was no rain. He goes into intercession. He takes up his position to begin to make up the hedge, begins to pray, and tells his servant, go tell me what you see. Servant says, I don't see nothing. He says, well, go back again. He prays, come back, don't see nothing. He says 7 times. And then at the 7th, oh my goodness, when prayer was complete, but watch this, his servant says, I see he ain't said a big cloud. I see a small cloud about the size of a fist. But watch Elijah. He says, hey, y'all need to go and hurry up and get prepared because it's getting ready to rain. No, listen. It was still at a distance. Y'all ain't hearing me. It was still out in the middle of the ocean somewhere, and it was the size of a fist from sight. But Elijah said, oh, y'all better get ready. Why? Because I prayed. I've been in, you better get ready. It's at a distance, But I'm not going to let anything get in between the distance of it happening and it actually happening. Are you with me? This is why you got to, when you're approved and you're going through difficult times, you got to find some other approved, certified, and endorsed people in their right mind. Sometimes you're not going to be in your right mind. Can I just be honest with you? Sometimes you're just not in your right mind. This is why you got to watch who you're around. Because sometimes you're just not going to be. And you got to find good friends that are going to tell you when you're being carnal. Y'all ain't hearing me. See, some of y'all, I want some real people. I don't want people when I'm carnal that's going to help me in my carnality. I don't want you around me when I say I'm in a bad place and you go, shoot, I'm in a bad place too. Then I'm with the wrong person. I don't need to hang with you. I need to find somebody that's at a good place that's going to say, look, man, get yourself together. You know what you said. You know what the word is. You're going to be fine. Keep your head up. Stay focused in prayer. Don't give up on that situation. Look, God's going to do what he said. But see, we flipped it. That's how we deceived, and we can't even recognize truth because we call being true and being real for people to wallow with you in your pity.
Yes. Help us. Help us.
And where's that going to take you? Nowhere. If you broke, you want to keep riding with broke folk? You get that one. I need somebody that can get me a sandwich. If I ain't got no money, you got some money? I need to be with somebody that know how to put the voices out. Okay. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Acts chapter 9. This has really blessed me right here. Acts chapter 9. I'm going to read this. I want to see if you catch it. Acts chapter 9, verse 36. I'm going to read these 5 verses right here. Watch this. Verse 36 in Acts chapter 9 says this. Watch this right here. Just help me out. At Joppa, there was a certain disciple named Tabitha, which is translated Dorcas. This woman was full of good works and charitable deeds, which she did. But it happened in those days that she became sick and died. When they had washed her and laid her in the upper room, and since Lydia was near Joppa, and the disciples had heard that Peter was there, somebody say certified. They heard there was a certified, approved person in their right mind. Watch this. They heard that Peter was there. They sent 2 men to him, imploring him not to delay in coming to them. Then Peter, and I'm pretty sure Peter woke up and he was not expecting for somebody to be dead and he got to walk in and do something. Right? This is his first resurrection, I believe. Watch this. It says, then Peter arose and went with them, and when he had come in, they brought him into the upper room, and all the widows stood by weeping and showing their tunics and garments which Dorcas had made while she was with them. And man, look at what she did. She lays to rest. And man, now it's my thing. If I'm Peter, and you got these people in the room, if you call me, why are they there? Y'all ain't hearing me. If you call me because I have the potential to do something, then why are you in here weeping like she's dead? Y'all ain't hearing me. Where's your expectation? You're calling me because you think I can change a situation. But don't plan the funeral and invite me. Are y'all hearing me? Listen, no. Don't. If you want me to come in and demonstrate the kingdom, don't invite me to the funeral. Invite me to the resurrection. That's right. Okay. Watch. This is what Peter's gonna say. So they're in there, and he says they're showing them, look at what she made, and she did this. But I love this. Somebody say, but. Peter put them all out. Listen. Peter put them all out. Y'all, I'm going to say it again. Peter put them all out. Before he knelt down, he put them out. Before he prayed, he put them out. You can't speak to dead things with people in there promoting dead things. You can't bring life to dead situations when you got people in there promoting the dead. Okay. Tell the person next to you, put them out. If they cannot believe God with you, can I help you out? Put them out. Stop telling people your problems in your current situation if they don't possess the capacity to believe God with you for the solution. Put them out. I ain't trying to be funny, but I'm not going to share with you if you don't have the capacity to believe God with me. Some things I don't tell everybody. If I got a problem in my body and I know you're not going to do anything but say, oh, don't prepare me for my funeral. No. I got to be around Bible talking, Holy Ghost filled, life speaking people to help me with my mind. Peter pulled him out before he spoke to her. Y'all got to get out of here. And turning to the body, he said, Tabitha, arise. And she opened her eyes. And when she saw Peter, she sat up. Ooh, that's a message itself. When she saw Peter, she sat up. How many people are, watch this, how many people are going to sit up when they see you? How many people, when they see you, they rise? How many people, when they see you, they go, oh my goodness, here's an endorsed, approved, certified man or woman of God. Or when they see you, they just play sleep, hoping that you go away. Put them out. Somebody say put them out. Why? Because I need people traveling with me that can discern what God is doing in a distance. Yeah. It might not be on me yet, but you can discern what God is doing at a distance. I need people around me when I'm trying to pray and stay in intercession. Don't lose hope because I know what God is doing in the distance. See, God's distance in the face of the enemy's prominence often leads to a lot of inner turmoil. And this is where I found David in Psalms 13. That was his experience. He began to cry out, how long, O Lord, will you forget me forever? Dave got a bit emotional there, didn't he? Will you forget, did I forget you forever last time? Well, no, but will you forget me forever? Look how long it's been. See, that's what distance will do to you. Yeah. It'll put you in your feelings. Come on, y'all know what I'm talking about now. The saints be in their feelings quick. We'll be in our feelings real quick. It'll put you in your feelings. And watch this. And it's impossible to operate in faith when you're caught up in your feelings. That's why we can't see God happening right now. We're too caught up in our feelings. It's hard to trust God when my feelings are leading me, speaking to me. David says in Psalms 13, he says, how long will you hide your face from me? Yeah, I can't seem to find your presence or comfort in this situation. How long? David says, shall I take counsel in my own soul, having sorrow in my heart daily? In other words, I felt left to myself without your counsel. You ever found yourself there in prayer? I feel like I'm left to myself. I'm starting to speak to myself, and I ain't speaking to stuff either. And this is a dangerous thing because, listen, when I begin to draw my own conclusions based on my own current situation, man, I'm already preparing myself for my grave. Now, don't you look at David in that tone of voice, because that's how we are as believers. Man, I quit. Preacher, don't you tell me to tell my neighbor nothing else. You don't understand my situation. You don't understand my sorrow. You don't understand my grief or my disappointment. I'm looking for somebody to have this pity party with me. Nothing is changing. And I've been praying night and day about this thing. But listen, just because you're not in the right frame of mind to discern what God is working in the distance doesn't mean that he isn't working. Yes, sir. Come on, man. Put the voices out, even if you have to tape up your own mouth. Because sometimes the person that needs to get out is you. Cast those demons out, reclaim your mental real estate, and be prepared to open the gate. Listen, while you're building character and capacity in prayer, because that's what God is doing many times, that while you're in the wait and the distance, he's building character and capacity. While you're building character and capacity in prayer, God is working in the thing that you prayed for. I'll prove it. Look at Acts 12, verse 5 now. Acts 12, verse 5. So they're praying, right? It says here, watch this, Peter was therefore kept in prison, but constant prayer was offered. How much? Constant prayer was offered to God for him by the church. And when Herod was about to bring him out that night, Peter was sleeping, bound with 2 chains between 2 soldiers. And I'm not talking about the rapper 2 Chainz. That's what I know some of y'all went to. He was in there with 2 chains?
Come on.
Man, 2 Chainz? He took that name from the Bible. That's what it was. Oh, watch this. With guards before the door they were keeping the prison. I love this. Y'all ready? But watch this. Watch this. Verse 7 says that it says, now behold, an angel of the Lord stood by him, and the light shone in the prison, and he struck Peter. Struck him on the side. It says struck too. It didn't say tap. See, sometimes when you sleep, God has to strike you. Why? Because sometimes you can be so caught up in your situation that this little nice stuff, hey, wake up. You ever try, Mikhail, when he go to sleep, I think he go into hibernation mode. I feel bad as a dad. I'm like, wake up. Picking him up, he just fall over. Like, dude, you need to get more sleep then, brother. But some of us, that's how we are when it comes to God. God is, hey, wake up, to the point where and that feeling don't feel good. You know, when somebody strike you like that and you wake up, you almost have a heart attack. Right? What? Don't you ever do that again in your entire life. Watch this, the angel, he struck Peter on the side, raised him up. Y'all ready for this? Watch this. Arise quickly. And his chains fell off his hands. Did you catch that? Stay with me. Just about done. Watch this. Watch this. And his chains. Did you catch what I just said? It didn't say his chains fell off and Peter got up. See, that's how many of us would have wanted the story to go. God, take the chains off, then I get up. Scripture says, arise quickly, and his chains fell off his hands. Yeah, watch this. You know how we do. God, I can't get up and move to the next level because my hands are tied. I hear you telling me to get up and come out of this mess I'm in. And as a matter of fact, God, I don't even know how I got here. I was just being faithful to your call. I was just doing what you told me to do. And watch this. And here I am. I'm caught up in this mess, bound in this struggle, locked away, struggling in this prison when I was supposed to be doing greater works and accomplishing greater exploits than you and doing all these things that the preacher told me I'm supposed to be doing. And here I am. I haven't come into that promotion they prophesied about yet. I haven't received that healing that they were preaching and prayed and laid and put oil on me for yet. I haven't missed, watch this. I must have missed this breakthrough that they've been preaching about.
Come on.
That I shouted in advance about.
Come on, sir. Come on.
The money hasn't come yet. And here I am in here with 2 chains. Can I help y'all out? The chains will come off when you come to yourself. Watch this. And recognize who you are and get up. He said, arise quickly. Get up. When you hear somebody say that, you get up. Well, my dad used to come in like, get up. You jump up. You don't just be like, you don't, yeah. No, the yell, the intense, the voice, the sound used to scare me half to death. It wasn't just waking me up. It was how loud he said it. Get up. In other words, stop looking for someone to have a pity party with you. Watch this. No one wants to come to that party anyway. It hit me. I'm trying to get people to come. Nobody wants to come to that party. How many people are going to come to that party? I send out invitations and I say, we're going to cry and we're going to complain And we're gonna tell each other how horrible our life is and everything that's going on and everything. It's just gonna be horrible. It starts at 3. Ain't nobody coming to that party. Come on, shout, get up. Nobody else is coming to get you out of here, Peter. Arise quickly. Y'all ready? Watch this. Gird yourself and tie on your own shoes. He said, tie on your own sandals. Okay. I love this. Les Brown says something. He says, adversity introduces a man to himself. Yeah. Shows you right where you are, who you are. God, I love you. I'm ready to take the nations for you. But I won't even get up out of my own situation. You sure you're ready what the nations got to offer you? You sure you're ready for all the trouble and the hell and heartache you're going to go through to get your business to glorify God? Watch this. In a world system that don't want anything to have to do with Jesus, are you sure you are ready for that call? You ready to be approved? You ready to be certified? You ready to be endorsed? Are you really ready for this? Listen, just because the answer has been delayed, refuse to settle for less than the best that God has for your life. Gird yourself and tie your own shoes and step into God's purpose for your life. Look, the word gird there, I love this. The angel said to Peter, he said, gird yourself, in verse 8, tie on your own sandals. The word there, gird, means to pull the belt. It means prepare yourself for active work. It means to pull the belt, watch this, to remove the slack so a person can move quickly. In other words, get yourself together because you got to move. Cast down those thoughts. Gird your mind with truth. You don't have time to soak in your problems. Tie up your sandals. Why? Because you got to move quickly. Somebody say quickly. Get up. Why? Because I got people praying for you, Peter. Y'all ain't hearing me. This is your problem now. Listen. You got to move quickly. Why? Because we got a time schedule. I got things set on motion sensors. Okay, watch this. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Watch this. Look. Get up. If you get up, Peter, they'll fall off. Put on your garment, the angel says, and follow me. Now, remember I told you guys when we first started, the anointing's on the what? So in other words, you don't have all day to debate whether or not you're going to trust God. God, I want to get out of this situation. You sure? Arise quickly. Let's go. Well, God, you got these. No. Get up. Let's get up. They'll fall off. Get up. Tie your belt. Tie your own shoes. We got to move quickly. Why? Because I got some things that's designed to open, but it's all based on motion sensors. Listen, if you're going to come out of and into what God has destined for you in this season, you're going to have to gird yourself and be ready to move quickly. Because the timers and the sensors on the doors that you are purposed to walk through, they're activated by your motion. Okay. God has to be able to get you to a place at a set time, because the gate that leads to the city is motion activated. All right, watch, look. Look at verse 10. And when they were past the first and the second guard posts, they came to the iron gate that leads to the city, which opened to them of its own accord. Notice the gate wasn't already open. The gate didn't open until they got there. Y'all ain't, oh my goodness. See, okay, listen. That means God had it set up. It's faith censored. It requires movement. Are y'all hearing me? Yeah. What if I told you the next season of your life requires your faith? You can't be approved, certified, and endorsed with no movement. Those who believe God and are ready to move on the instruction, nothing is opening without your movement, without your faith.
Come on, sir.
You got to show up. You ain't coming into certain stuff because you still sitting in there bound. I'm waiting for God to get these off me. And God done struck you numerous times. The word of God done hit you so hard. The word done, it done knocked everything. Knocked your wig off. Knocked your hat crooked. You messed you up. God ain't asked you to. You ain't got time to put on makeup to get out of here. You ain't got time to brother, do all this. Sometimes you coming out. Sometimes deliverance can look ugly. Y'all hearing me? You ain't got time to be cute. Put your right kind of shoes on. Look, you just got to get up. And you got to move.
My God.
Why? Because it's motion censored. God, I would, but the doors haven't opened yet. Well, maybe you're not close enough. Oh, y'all, okay. I'm going to share something with you. God showed me this. So the gate to our subdivision, we got a little sticker on my dashboard that certifies, I love that. Watch this. It certifies that I have access to the community. Yeah, but sometimes whenever I approach the gate, if the sensor don't pick it up right, I can go to the gate and sit there, and I'm like, I know this is I pay the homeowners. We pay pretty good. I know I got access to this. You ain't shutting up. And I back up, and I go forward again. And then all of a sudden, when I get enough movement and just get right at the right spot, the gate opens. See, listen, when you come to the door and it hasn't opened, but that's what God's leading you to, you got to know that you are endorsed, and it just may require a little more movement. Just require a little more movement. Y'all ain't hearing me. It requires, see, some of you have allowed the kingdom of darkness and the lies of the enemy to rob you of your movement. But it's time for you to come to yourself and activate your faith. Watch this. Verse 11 says this. And I want to speak this prophetically because God shared this with me this morning. Verse 11 said, and when Peter had come to himself, he said, now I know for certain that the Lord has sent his angels and has delivered me from the hand of Herod and from all the expectation of the Jewish people. Some of y'all are in prison because of the expectation of other people. I'm going to tell you, listen. You can't operate in faith when you're living under the pressure of the world that you're trying to live up to. I'm going to go specific. Social media has some of y'all in so much bondage. You're in prison to the opinions and the likes of the world around you. And watch this. And if you don't live up to the standard that they're lying to you about, then you begin to feel inadequate, inferior, incapable. Watch this. And now you're in prison trying to prove something to a world that has no true reward to offer you. Actually, the end is death. That's the purpose of it. Yeah, the Jews, he said the expectation of the Jews. The Jews wanted Peter dead. The world, the system you're trying to live up to wants you dead. Doesn't care anything about your message. Don't want anything about your message. Does not want you to disrupt the system. And some of us, God is saying, move. You can't move because you're feeling inadequate. You can't move because you're feeling inferior. You can't move because you're measuring your body type and your size up based upon what you see. And even if you started working out, it wouldn't be enough because you keep comparing yourself. We're in such a selfie-generated world. Adults, just selfie, picture. It's a Jesus. You said it was going to be a ministry page, and it's yourself. It's you. In prison, you can never look good enough. And then sometimes when you're trying to prove that you don't care, it actually shows that you do because you talk about it too much. Y'all ain't hearing me. You better get free. Forget about the expectation of other people. It was this sentence of death that God was delivering Peter from. And his deliverance was assisted by those who were laboring in the process of prayer. So we have, watch this, we have those fighting the fight of prayer. And then the other side, we have those fighting the fight of faith in prison. But both are in process. Somebody say process. Now, here's what we're going to close here. Acts 12, verse 12. It says, so when he had considered this, he came to the house of Mary, the mother of John. This is Peter, whose surname was Mark, where many were gathered together praying. Somebody said they were praying. And as Peter knocked at the door of the gate, a girl named Rhoda came to answer. And when she recognized Peter's voice, because of her gladness, she did not open the gate, but ran in and announced that Peter stood before the gate. But they said to her, you are beside yourself. Yet she kept insisting that it was so. So they said, hey, it's an angel. Now let me say something before I deal with that. God has brought the answer to your door. But you got to understand is that whenever God shows up at the door, he always knocks. Okay. That's what it does is it puts responsibility back on you. Y'all want God to show up and just bust in the door and say, here it is. Okay, you don't believe me. Revelation 3:20, God speaks to the church that's not listening. He says, behold, I stand at the door and... Now, this is a church he's trying to rebuke and deal with, but yet still, when God shows up, when the answers to your prayer show up, can somebody please open up the gate? Here's the answer to your prayers doing this. But watch this. But God showed me something. If your mind and your heart is clouded with fear and discouragement and despair, you won't be able to hear the knock. Yeah. Listen, I wonder how often God has been knocking, but we're so trapped in the fear of wanting God to answer that we've forgotten to look for him to answer. I mean, you're in the house praying, the answer to your prayer shows up, and you tell the young girl that told you the answer was there, girl, you beside yourself. Then what are we praying for? You see the religious activity? You praying, but you don't even believe God's going to answer your prayer. You've been praying, and now God is knocking, and you refuse to go. And when somebody tells you that what was at a distance is actually there, you telling people they beside themselves. If you want an answer, you have to look for an answer. Your answer needs your expectation. The answer's at the gate, but you got people telling you beside yourself. You were praying for this, right? But you don't have the faith to open the door. God answers the prayer that you've been interceding for, but there you are stuck. You're too stuck to receive it. You're beside yourself for believing that God will do what you've been praying for him to do. You're beside yourself for believing God for deliverance. You're beside yourself for believing God for salvation for your family member that's been crazy all his life, and all of a sudden now he's saved. You don't even know how to recognize that. You're beside yourself to believe that God can restore your marriage. You're beside yourself for healing, believing God that he'll heal your body or save your life or change your life. You're beside yourself. It is, watch this, it's easier to believe that it's a ghost instead of an answered prayer. You're beside yourself for believing God can deliver you from those addictions. Are you crazy? Yeah, man, I've been praying for them and they stopped, but I don't know, man. You know how you can get right back on that stuff again. I know they came and said that they delivered. I know they came and said they were saved, but you know their history. You know they past. You know what they're doing. You know what they did before. I know we've been praying for God to save them in the world, and the moment the world shows up at our door and says we're here and we say, we go, I don't know if I can trust that though. Now, what were you not praying for? Or were you lying? Or were you showing up being religious, saying things, but you wasn't believing that God was going to do what you said? And that's the condition of the church right now. God is doing stuff in the world that you've been praying about. And as long as they stayed at a distance, it's fine. The moment they show up and knock at your door, you telling Rhoda she alive. I don't know, Rhoda, you ain't been saved enough. Look, little girl. See, you carnal. You should have been in here praying with us. You had to answer the door. What you going to the door for, Rhoda? And Rhoda say, look, I just got saved yesterday. I thought that your prayers was real. I thought that when you prayed, we supposed to look for an answer. Isn't that what you want? Isn't that what's supposed to happen? But you'd rather be stuck in your tradition. Now, don't get this wrong. I'm not saying that we should not pray. I'm saying we should believe God for what we're praying about. Somebody got to get up off their knees and go look at the door. Okay, I'm going to come back. We're going to pray. Somebody got to be carnal enough to get up. I heard a noise. I heard somebody at the door. I heard somebody out there. I know y'all in here praying, but at some point, we're going to move from the prayer meeting to the reception, or we're going to move from the prayer meeting to say, come on, God. He did exactly what we, or rather, we're just afraid that people are going to keep telling us we beside ourselves. You know, I mean, James did die. And they did just kill James, preacher. I mean, come on now. We can't deny what happened in the past. Yeah, but Peter's still knocking. Y'all ain't hear me. James died, but Peter's still knocking. You can spend all your time asking God why he didn't do it before, or you can open up the door and celebrate what God is doing in your life right now. Y'all not hearing me. You can have your pity party about how God failed you in the past, or you can wake up right now and say, God, I thank you that Peter is knocking. Anybody ready to open the gate? Can somebody please open the gate? Can somebody please open the gate? The answer's at the gate. Allow people to tell you beside yourself because you believe in God for an answer. Why are you sitting out here? Well, because we are praying for God to do it, right? Why are you going out there in the community? Because we are praying for God to reach the community, aren't we? Why are you over there on this side? Well, because we are asking God to say so. Why are you letting them up in here? Well, because we are believing God that he's going to save the lost, right? I mean, they're going to come in lost, right? They're not going to come in church, right? They're not going to come in the way you think they're going to come in, right? They're not going to come in with all language and all the stuff. That's what that. They're going to come in like, yo, what's up, bro? What's up, sis? What's going down? You know that, right? You know that you was there at one point in time, right? You do understand that, don't you? Open the gate. Listen, I don't care. The past is the past. That's right. Learn from it. But one thing you need to understand is that he's never lost the battle. I don't listen. Well, God, how long? Well, why you sitting here trying to figure out how long? You could just be preparing yourself, getting ready for the answer. You could be preparing yourself because you know what you're praying God for. So you preparing for the celebration. See, we should be preparing for the harvest. Not talking about how long. We should be preparing for them. We should be bettering ourselves. We should because God, you never lost the battle. I don't care what it looked like in the world. I don't care what's going on. You never lost the battle. I know James died, but listen, God, you got a plan and purpose for everything. You got ways to catapult us into all. Do you know the gentleman that wrote the song, He Loves Us? I think he was with a youth group. And he had just told God that he wanted God to use his life in a way that would change the world. And he was over a youth group. I don't know if it was a year or a month shortly after, he had died in a tragic car accident. And when he died, it was a small youth group that they had. I don't know, it was like 50 or 75 or so. I can't remember the details of the story, but the point was, at his death, everyone came around. All these youth, those he impacted. And they sung the song he wrote, He Loves Us. Oh, how he loves us. And so they're singing the song, and they said all of a sudden a revival started to happen amongst all the young people from the youth group that he used to lead. Revival starts to happen. People are saved. People are coming to Christ. And the song takes off. People start singing it. And then one of the people that tell the story said that this was the result of his prayer for his life. Wow. Now we look at it and say, but God, he died. And God says, well, I don't view death like you do. Listen, to be absent from the body is to be present with the... Do you really think he wants to come back? But instead, God gets to say, hey, look at what your song is doing. Look, hey, look at the heart. Look at what's happening. Look at all the people that are coming to me. Watch this. Because save a corn of wheat fall on the ground and die, it abideth alone. God takes his life. He sows his life literally. He sows his life literally. And he has one of the greatest hearts. Can you imagine? That's going to be his reward. It will be charged to his account. Look at all of those who came to me because of your life. I say that to say sometimes we're questioning, God, why did this happen? How? You just got to understand you're under God's dispensation. That means God's administration. God is doing it. He's doing it according to his design. When you get there, you don't fear much of anything. You're no longer afraid because you know God is sovereign. And yes, we may miss loved ones that have transitioned, but if you ask them, I remember, listen, guys, I'm going to tell you something. I love my God. My grandmother, she... we had that family where, your grandmother and your mama, everybody's together, and the patriarch of the family run the show. And so my grandmother, I spent some time with my grandmother while my mother, she had got stationed at some remote tours. So my grandmother, she helped raise me. And we were very, very close. I wasn't just a grandson, I was like her son. And so I was here, and my grandmother got sick. They had to fly her back, and I was on my way to see her. And she died, right? She died before I arrived. And the nurse told my mother, she said, man, she's holding on for somebody. Somebody not here, because she should have transitioned, and she's fighting to hold on. And my mother said, she's holding on for my son. He was like, and she said, well, she's trying. And then when I landed, I got the phone call. She had already transitioned. And I was like, man, Lord, it just broke my heart. And then I just cried because I didn't get a chance to just say goodbye, right? Me and death, I understand it. She's in the kingdom. I'm like, God, I'm good. I just want to talk to her one last time. So I kid you not. I woke up and I told you about it. So I go to sleep. This is probably about years. Yeah, because it wasn't too long, about a year ago. And grandmother, she's transitioned, about 6-7 years. But in my heart, I always wanted to just talk to her. So I right before I wake up, my eyes open and I'm in this house. And it's one of them North Carolina homes. I'm old, but you can see the autumn and the beautiful place. Beautiful. I couldn't see outside. I could just see the ray and sunshine, the light. And when I was in a room, I was sitting at a dining room table as if I was waiting for somebody. Now, I'm telling you, this is true. I'm sitting there, and I'm just sitting, and I got this beautiful feeling, man. I don't know what it is. And then my grandmother walks around the corner, and I just, like a little kid all over again, I burst out in tears. I ran up. She looked beautiful. Ran up. Boom. I hugged her, right? And I'm just gripping onto her, and I'm like, man, Grandma, I always wanted to tell you. And then she just said, I know, baby, I know. And she just hugs me, and then she goes, I gotta go. She said, but tell my grandbabies I love them. And then I come out of it, and I jump up, man, I'm sweating, my heart's racing, and I just started crying to God. And what's wrong? As you understand, God just allowed me to say, I love my grandmother. Like, literally, I know, it was orchestrated by God. But this is the thing. Grandma not coming back. Grandma didn't want to come back. She said, sugar? This is how she said it. I know what she did. She said, sugar? Like she always said, I gotta go. And at that moment, I just got a perspective of God's sovereignty. Yeah. Like, we're panicking about situations simply because we don't understand that God is sovereign. He controls death. He controls everything. The enemy is a pawn in his plan. The only reason he's permitting Satan to do what he's doing is to continue to make an open show and show forth how bad he is and who he really is. So don't get stuck at the last disappointment. Just keep looking for what's in the distance and be prepared to open the gate.
Hey family, I hope you enjoyed today's message. Today we talked about the discouragement of distance. And what I mean by that is often the distance between where we actually are and what we're praying God to do in our life. Sometimes that space can create discouragement, and discouragement, man, will kill your hope, ruin your focus, and try to snatch away your pursuit. And you have to have these things if you're going to come into what it is that God has purposed for you to do. Sometimes we can be so focused on prayer that we forget to look for the answer. And that's what happened in Acts 12, where the church was praying for Peter, and Peter arrives, and Rhoda comes and tells him, and they're like, hey, it must be his ghost. Girl, you beside yourself. That happens so much. So hopefully you were blessed by this word, and it encouraged you to keep your drive, keep pursuing, that what God's about to do is just sitting at the distance, and it requires for you to discern it. Well, until next time, we want you to stay connected with us. Connect to us through our website, our social sites, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And also, if you would like to be a partner with us and contribute financially, we want to give you the opportunity to do so. You can go to kingdomlifecm.org/give. You can give any contribution. We greatly appreciate it. Well, until next time, we'll see you again. And don't forget to dominate your purpose by dominating your day. We love you. God bless.